Hello and welcome to this week's review and what we see upcoming. I'm going to go over the SPY and some of the key points, and then this is a very busy earnings week. So I'm going to hit some of those names, and hopefully you'll be able to get some trades in as we highlight some of the important points that may happen, and maybe possibly give you a few ideas. But from there, I really hoping to give you more of a guide as to what we're looking at Options Trading Pilot. My partner, John, is unavailable today, but here we go. So today is going to be a little bit differently than what I'm used to doing. It's just earnings week, and I think it's important to be able to discern more of what's going on this week. This could be a really good week for traders. If you play it right, if you hit a couple good trades, it can change your P&L significantly. So that's what I'm hoping to provide help here today. So, okay. So this is a SPY, and you can see, right, that we are above this really key level. We're really close. There's a little bit of indecision happening at that candle. A lot of the things that I've been reading is saying we might be a little bit overbought, and we are certainly. If you look at the full stochastic, we are overbought. But I like to see what's been happening, and you can see whenever we enter the overbought, it lasts. Here's January 29th. It lasts all the way till July 30th. You can argue that maybe up to July 7th. And so it lasted about a week. Here we saw the dip, and we thought that it was going away, but it actually lasted from July 27th all the way to August 16th. And if we actually look at the chart up here, then we see it dip down below and quickly recapture. One of the ideas that I like to look at is how fast it doubled back. What we want to see generally is hit the overbought and head into oversold and back and forth. But whenever you see things retracing halfway, then you would say they're very bullish. So you just enter those trades aggressively and perhaps add more dollars to those trades when you see this retracement. Over here, you saw the retracement back down. So this recent price action is really a careful sign. I can see why our people are saying that, hey, perhaps we will see this head down a little faster. I just happen to, I like to look at where we are in the earnings season. October happens to be a very volatile month, but the quarter tends to be very positive. So in a seasonal point of view, we want to favor long strategies and really hedging, not really going short too much. And that's my general play. If anything, the worst case I would do is just play neutral strategy, specifically when we look at companies. So that's one of the things that's really important to look at. If we look at I call it slow stochastic, but I changed it to have it be a little faster. And you can see that even here, we see the changes happening a little slower, except on this time period, this is very quick. Now we're below our averages there. So as you can see, we are at a overbought point. The question is, can it continue tomorrow? I think the futures markets are telling us that we're going to start a little down to flat. It's minus 0.07% as of right now. Let me share this screen as we hop into Thinkorswim. So yeah, you can see that it's minus 0.06 at this point. But let's go ahead and jump in and review some of the bigger names. There are a lot of trades, earnings trades occurring. I will be reviewing a lot of them on our Discord. So if you're interested in following us, you can find us at www.optionstradingpilot.com. And let's start with Facebook. Facebook is going to report on after the close tomorrow. So we should have a nice price action movements tomorrow. Perhaps entering in the pre-market might be a good idea, but let's take a look at the charts. Obviously, let's pull out first. Looking at the weekly, nice uptrend, as you can see. It hit a high of 384. When was this? In August. And since then, it met resistance for a couple weeks here, and then it's dropped, and now it has found support. This candle here, right at support, is bearish, as you can see. It may want to come down a little bit. There's a 5% is the loss there for the day on Friday, which is pretty significant. So let's see. So we're at the support and the weekly. Let's look at the daily. And looking at the daily, you can see a buy sell, pretty significant. The MACD, our trader's MACD, is very negative and is below zero. Again, we are meeting some support here at this price. I would say somewhere around 320.47. There was a small rejection at the lower Fibonacci. It drove up, but then it gapped down. So still we're seeing a lot of weakness in the daily. Let's jump down to the 4-hour. This is a little more telling. Because some big players, some bad news, right? Came in and sold. They tried recovery. It rejected the move upside, came down. This is still bearish. We're still within this bar. We're at the price point on the volumes profile that is satisfactory, maybe slightly below. Let's go ahead and look at the 1-hour. Maybe you can draw. You can draw a little bit of what we're seeing here. This pattern here. You can see that triangle. It's just resetting now. Do this real quickly without wasting your time. Okay, no, I can't do it right now. So you can see it's like it's settled on this price point on the 1-hour, and then if we jump to the 15-minute, it's again telling us the same story. So it's really at a point where it'll probably stay like this through earnings, and then we'll see the real movement that will serve as a catalyst where it'll break down or up. I really think that it'll most likely move up at this point. This is somewhat a non-telling. You see the 5 minutes not really telling us a lot. So the safe way to play would be to see if we can hit a home run and just do a really out of the money call and just buy a call, or enter this trade in a safer, wider iron condor. Where you can do an out of the money put. I'm favoring the upside on this one, so I wouldn't put a lot of money into this trade, but overall it's pretty good. As far as like what we're, neutral status is probably the way I would lean on this one, and take some out of the money calls just to, swing in case it really gets some good news on the performance. On Tuesday before the open, we have UPS. I'm already writing some calls on that. Let's see, on the weekly, you can see obviously shipping and moving goods and all those things have been something that has been in the news. I would anticipate that we should see a really good earnings report on this one, but that's just conjecture more than reality. You can see on the daily, the crossover has broken through. The MACD is really high, pointing up. These bars are very strong. We've moved beyond the point of balance, so we should expect, once it breaks through this 204.34, I would at least expect right at 213, and maybe perhaps even move to 219 as it goes. Um, you look at the 4 hours, the same story is being told there. That's no concern there. And then the 1 hour is really telling us a good story that is meeting this resistance here. So I would say that it may remain here for a little bit, but I would anticipate a breakthrough that line. And why do I say that? Even though these bars are pointing, there's a lot of selling and the MACD is down. Well, we saw the weekly and the daily are very strong. They're pointing there, and those are more important sources of fueling this move. But we were probably going to stick around here during the day, but obviously all those things can change. Yeah, this is just dragging for the day. We'll see that occur. Very interesting how everything is really pointing to the same story. So overall, I think I like the long hauls on UPS. If you want to be a safer trade, then selling vertical puts, bull puts might be a good way to deal with that. So that one is on Tuesday morning before the open. There's Microsoft 2 on the after, and then there's AMD. Just for the sake of time, I won't jump into those. Boeing is one that a lot of people ask me about. So let's take a look at Boeing. That happens on Wednesday. And Boeing's been having a really rough go at things. Take a look at the weekly. I like expanding our view. Had a nice recovery over this time, but it's been really sticking at this price for a while. Maybe a point of aggregation. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, this is definitely forming this triangle and maybe pointing to a push forward. And the same story on the 4 hour is still bearish. We're still looking at this bearish move. 1 hour, very significant. We have hit. I think we won't go below this 212.58. So I would anticipate move forward. If we look at the airlines and we correlate that, I haven't done that in a while, but basically looking at BA and say some of the earnings that came out, love was airlines. Let me switch to this screen real quickly. I like using stock charts because I've been using it for so long that I get a sense of what is going on real quickly here. But correlation with, let's say, LUV. Pointing at LUV. Yeah, highly correlated, 86%. How do I know? It says right here, right? Let's go a little bit longer. The trader's number, right? 200 days. Very highly correlated, 0.79. That's a high number. United Airlines. Oh, even higher correlated, 0.9. 20 days. So while this isn't true, 0.82 correlate. While this isn't true, looking at UAL and its recent price action hitting down, and then perhaps mimicking maybe what'll happen, then it's October 19th. So you can see October 19th, what those are earnings for UAL. So they're negative, but I found out a good point. So if we correlate these two, then maybe we do anticipate a break on Boeing. So I really want to believe that it's going to go up, but looking at UAL and then looking at LUV, see it continue to go down. Now LUV had significant losses, right, because of the strikes. So it's interesting because Yeah, this might break two down. I would favor the short on Boeing at this point. Um, then on Thursday, of course, we got to look at Apple. Thursday after the close to this screen. Okay, let's look at the wide angle. I mean, nice trend pushing up. Hit a high of 157 to curve back up. They had a power play this past week, right? Snap really died on earnings a lot because of what Apple had said, right? Let's look at the 4 hours. I just want to stick to the technicals here, right? Not hitting the fundamentals, but basically it has gone up above this Fibonacci line. That's on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Trading volume is generally about the same. It's on a point of support there. 15-minute candles right at support. Anticipate that curving back up, the MACD. And this is the same thing. We're right at support. So yeah, I would expect, I suppose for the week, as long as the market really doesn't do its retracement that people are thinking that may happen on the SPY. And tech stocks as well, but it looks like we're should anticipate longs on that one. Let's take a look at what the futures market is doing for tech. NASDAQ. Positive. It has found some support. That's just the 5-minute, but the week, I mean, it's just weekly. Recovered nicely. I would anticipate a continued move, even though it's really hitting right there, but I would anticipate that. So, one thing just to really mention is that the oil prices are going up significantly. It's up 1.12% for now. I mean, you can see it's hitting all-time highs. I do see it moving past 86, maybe even 87, and that does affect airlines. And just going back to the Boeing, that maybe we should favor the negative on that. Okay, so on Apple, we're favoring long, and then on Friday, what do we have? Well, we've seen all of the oil companies do well because oil is going up. So maybe we should just do some out of the money calls with some of these oil companies. Now, look, this is on been moving nicely. Daily, same thing. It hit this top. I mean, if you see the pump, I mean, you should ask yourself, do you anticipate gas prices go down or go up? I think they're going up. And so whenever we get earnings reviews, we're looking at what's the forward-looking idea of what's happening. So I do anticipate that. So their margins should increase. That kind of argument is that, hey, we're moving more to electrical. Tesla jumping is signifying to us that we are, as a trend overall, everybody's moving to electrical cars. But at the same time, this reduction oil isn't really where it needs to be, and so we should see that pushing forward. So I take some calls or sell some puts. Okay. So I know this is a little different. It's more of a just seeing what the technicals are giving us. Obviously, there's more in-depth information that we can take a look. But I try to keep it simple and make that my decisions just kind of envelop all the ideas that are around and look at the longer term charts and then make decisions as to what we're going to see. Well, good luck this week. I do remain bullish for the week on the SPY. I do remain bullish on oil. And then of course on these earnings plays, take that into account when you're making these ideas. I was surprised to see that Boeing we might see a breakthrough on the downside, which Um, yeah, we might see a breakthrough on the downside. But anyway, we'll play that probably a little neutral. I won't too much on that. Well, you guys have a great week trading. Hit me up on questions. You can find me at www.optionstradingpilot.com. And well, happy trading.